You're listening to Cape from the Radio. This is Dr. Feldy, and I'm here with Maheen, aka Goldie Moon. She's the owner and creator of Dream Beauty Lab and Dream Beauty Magazine and Strangeland Magazine. So, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Dr. Feldy. Thanks for that beautiful introduction.
Thank you. Now, let's get right to the first question. The photography industry. It's a very competitive industry. I'd say in the last 10 years, everyone's a photographer. If they have a camera, you're a photographer. It used to be, you have to have special equipment, and that could be very competitive, very oversaturated. People just use the Facetune app, and boom, there's a photographer. So, what's been one of the toughest challenges you faced, and how did you push through it?
Quite honestly, this sort of job, I don't even want to call it a job because jobs really are full-time. And this is, yes, like when I'm working and doing photography, it is a job, but it's not consistent. So with this sort of thing, like what is challenging is constantly having to get clientele, to maintain clientele, and then other photographers, for whatever reason, view you as competition. And I understand we live in a capitalist society and money is what we need to survive and thrive. But when art coupled with work turns into competitive, really icky, murky things like that, that's when it starts to feel not as exciting, not as fun to do. It's been hard navigating that, and for whatever reason, I've ruffled a couple of feathers, and maybe it's because I'm unapologetic and I'm confident, and a lot of people don't like that. So,
Hold on. How do you know you ruffled some feathers? Have you seen these feathers ruffled? Like, what are some clues?
people tell me. People tell me it's all over the internet. It's on social media.
People are
People
complaining about you. People are slandering.
No. Not. I mean, there might have been one or two people that have complained about me, but those are people that didn't like me to begin with, so they were just cherry picking. And I'll take accountability for maybe a few mistakes that I've made, but I always felt that if I didn't express myself and didn't tell the truth or be myself unapologetically, then I'll regret it. So that's why everything that has happened, that's transpired, whether it's haters or affiliates of the haters, like minions or whatever, I honestly, I don't care anymore. It's kind of like I put my work out there. If people like it, great. If it doesn't resonate, then just move along. If I'm going to be the talk or the topic of conversation, clearly I'm doing something right then.
That's true. One thing I've noticed, in the medical industry and well, actually every industry that I've been in, if they're not talking about you, you're forgotten. You're forgotten. No one wants to give you business. You're gonna have to have a hater too, and if you don't have a single hater, you're doing something wrong. So now,
Absolutely. And something, I'm sorry if this is shaking, by the way, I just knocked the wire. Okay. I think another thing is a lot of people don't like that I have my hands in a lot of cookie jars, but I'm not going to stop my talents and who I am just because it makes other people uncomfortable and they don't like it. I'm multifaceted. I'm able to do a lot of things, and I'm going to do it while I'm still alive. So if you don't like it, tough.
right? And as someone that's almost died a few times, listen, you got to just do what makes you happy as long as you're not hurting anyone else, and be appreciative and grateful every day, and really ask yourself, if I do this today, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next year from now? And I know that you're goal oriented. So now success in an industry where your visibility often determines success. How do you handle rejection, comparison, or being overlooked?
I am really good at handling rejection because I've been rejected by a lot of people and things my whole life. So now, as a 43-year-old woman that's very comfortable with the word no, I'm totally okay with it. I say no to people all the time. So I think you need rejection for character development. And it's fine. It's totally fine. If they don't want me, if I don't align with them or they don't align with me, somebody else will. So
Yeah, I
that's how
always
I do
say
it.
every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. So when you say yes to one thing, you better make sure that it's the right thing for you. And you better get
Yeah.
comfortable with saying no because you're not saying no, you're saying yes. And then you're getting to the wrong people and the wrong jobs, the wrong clients. There's going to be offers all the time. And I'd say most offers a lot of offers come in from predatory people. And maybe it's not best for you. Not everyone's looking out for your best interests.
No, and like we live in a society now because of social media. People are really good at pretending to be your friend only to gain access. So they are able to acquire whatever knowledge you have for free. Meanwhile, people like you and I have spent years and years and years learning and developing our skills, whether we paid for it or not. It took us time to acquire that knowledge. So why should I just give that out for free? Like it should just be accessed by anybody. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be accessed by anybody. There's a reason why certain people get into Harvard and others don't. Okay. And so that's why, like, that's the mentality that I have. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that mentality. They want to cut corners and whatever. But I will be the first one to say I'm not an expert. I'm no genius. I just do what I love, and I find it to be great. I find it to be I don't want to say a masterpiece, but it's close enough. All the work that I put out.
Sometimes your work is a masterpiece. Sometimes I see things and I go, love it, masterpiece, masterpiece. And I'll tell you, and I
Thank
miss a lot
you.
of things too. I miss
You
things.
know,
So.
Dr. Feldy, coming from you, that means a lot to me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I will say you got to be real careful because my younger years, I had a lot of people go, oh, we should go to lunch. I'd like to pick your brain. You know what? This is why people pay for classes. Everyone, you'll spend all breakfast, lunch, and dinner, coffee, going out for all these 5 meals a day with people that want to pick your brain and talking and talking. I say, you know what? I think you and I are both in the time where it's let's do enough of this talking nonsense. And if someone wants information, you know what? Sign up for an hour and we'll charge you an hour education time.
Absolutely. And if people can't afford things, there's free things that you can use to learn.
Sure.
But, just don't think that you're going to learn everything overnight. Just like a week of watching YouTube videos or going to meetups. And now you think that, you can uh, do editorial photo shoots. That's just not realistic. And I tell
Mhm.
myself that too. There are times where I'm just like, I don't know if that's good enough. I don't know if I should
Mm.
even get that published. I don't even know if I should do that. But I do it, just because I feel like if I don't share it, then I won't get critiqued enough where I can improve. So I feel like it is necessary to allow others to judge your work, whether you get good feedback or, negative feedback. If you're a sensitive person, it's that this isn't the sort of work for you
No.
then. Like you have to be tough as nails. You have to be a fighter. You have to be on top of your game mentally and spiritually in order to do something like this, because art is very, very it's something that is very sensitive, and people, anything that can move people mentally and make them feel a certain way. That's something that when people are critiquing your work, that's something that you're going to have to feel comfortable with. And that's why when I started doing this stuff, even my friends would tell me, oh, maybe you should do this instead. And I know you probably know some of them too,
Mhm,
close friends of ours actually,
mhm,
that,
mhm,
would say, oh, maybe you should do this instead, or send it to this, or, change things up. And I
mhm,
value that kind of feedback because it
mhm.
just makes you a better photographer, a better artist.
And also, everything's very subjective. You don't do too much landscape, not that I've seen a lot of bodies. So when you're shooting bodies, boudoir, pinup, one person's beautiful body is disgusting to another one. And some people like skinny bodies, some people like big chunky bodies. So you're gonna get feedback all over the board. There's a beautiful picture. What's beautiful to one person is absolutely disgusting to another. So you gotta, keep that in mind. And also, we have the Dunning-Kruger effect. If someone has
Oh,
a
yeah.
little information, they think they know anyone, but when you have more information, those are the people that are doubting themselves. The people with more information, the people with the little information, are the things that they think they know everything. That's what I call the 30-year-old man case. A 30-year-old man thinks they're a man, but you know what? They haven't lost their house, their wife, their mind. They haven't had cancer yet. They have not experienced life. And I would say every 30-year-old man, at least I know, with a power trip has been of that Dunning-Kruger effect, where it's like, you know what? You think you're a man. Let's talk to you when you're 47 years old and you have a big gut hanging over your pants and you've lost two of your wives and you lost your house because your wife took it from you. All right, moving on to the next one. Speaking of
Very
sacrifice,
true.
it's very true. I don't want to hear from no 30-year-old man telling me that he knows everything. Roll a
Mm-mm.
little bit. All right, so now speaking of sacrifice, what type of sacrifices have you had to mean to sustain both your creative career and you're also in business? I haven't mentioned this, but you're also in a real business, big deal with a warehouse,
Ah,
big deal business.
yeah.
How do you met and your publications? So what kind of sacrifices have been made?
Well, when I got into the whole publishing world, and even ramping up with the photography, because when I was living in New York, it was more of a hobby than a business. I didn't make it a full business until I moved to Florida. And I was hesitant, because there were a lot of people doing what I'm doing. And for whatever reason, they think that you're stepping on their toes if you jump in and do the same thing that 50 other people are doing. Maybe it's just because it's me doing it that they don't like it, because they don't have a problem with everybody else that's in that
Hmm.
same industry doing the same thing.
Hmm.
And a lot of them are new, by the way. A lot of them are newcomers, new photographers, or emerging pinup photographers, or alternative boudoir photographers. But they don't get any kind of negative feedback, or they don't get
Hmm.
talked about or anything. Uh, it's just me. I don't know. Now, the sacrifices that I had to make was time. Unfortunately, my health kind of deteriorated for a bit
Oh.
because of a lot of time being consumed with magazine publishing deadlines, daytime job, which you mentioned, it's my family's business, and I do the accounting work for them. And between the day job and then coming home at night and working on magazine issues and editing photos of clients, you're sitting a lot. And like, it's very, very important to move your body and get your steps in, and I didn't. So for, I would say, about a year and a half to 2 years, my health fell apart. It fell apart. And only now am I doing something about it, and it's been good. I changed my diet, I changed my routine. So a lot of things that I did sacrifice initially, I'm reworking my schedule to make it so I have time for myself again. And certain things are just going to have to be put to the side or put on the back burner, because without health, you're useless.
Well, that's why I won't be able to really speak to anyone too close. I've been having a onion every single day for the last 4 days, and I've been dropping about, I'd say zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.8 pounds a day because I put on about 11 pounds trying. I'm just going to call it out. Magic Spoon cereal. I'm sorry. Never going to be a sponsor. Royal Bread. Number two. What was the third one? Quest protein chips. All three of these things, they pack on weight, even though it's 150 calories or something. If you want to gain weight, you eat those three things. I put on 9 pounds in a week. But anyway, highly recommend the desk bike. I have a desk bike right underneath right now. I'm on a little bicycle right while we're doing the show here. And also
Perfect.
a treadmill desk, so you can get your editing in while you're walking. It really adds up. Try to put that in, or even if you're doing correspondence, I have a little step here. If I'm texting or on the phone, I'll just kind of go up and down on a step, get some exercise. And I really don't have time to be like going to the gym these days, or even going downstairs a whole gym. So now, next question. Now, when business pressures start to overshadow creativity, what brings you back to your original passion for photography?
Oh, I love this question. Sometimes I just
Thank you.
stop. You're welcome. I visit my friends, and when I say that, what I mean by that is I watch my favorite movies. I
Ah,
listen to music. I listen to all the musicians that have shaped me and made me who I am. And that's what's very inspiring and brings me back to the core reason as to why I do what I do with art and creating it. And, like with my photography business, it's kind of slowed down. I think a lot of people are reprioritizing their finances this year, which is totally fine. I'm doing the same thing. And let's be honest, photography is not a necessity, it's a luxury. Only certain people can do it or budget it into their life. So, it's slow right now. It's very slow for me. So I've been doing a lot of self portraits. I think people are sick and tired of seeing me, but I don't care. I'm going to still do it because whatever time I have left in this world and whatever youth I have left and whatever looks I have left, I'm going to fucking take advantage of it. Okay.
right
I know you're
on.
going to bleep out the F word, but
No,
I'm
that's
going to
okay.
take
Listen,
advantage
I
of
just
it.
got breast implants. So I understand. I'm upgrading myself. I got little lip injections. I usually do the lip injections on the ladies. So I understand, I'm at a point where I got to max out who I am right now.
Yeah, and
That's life.
for a long time, for many years, I just neglected my calling and what I wanted to do, and I also felt like I didn't have the proper support, or um, I didn't really have a guidance or a mentor or anything. So I didn't know where to start or what to do. But then as I got older and the less F's I gave, I kind of just said, you know what? I don't care. I threw caution to the wind, and I am my own support system. Now I actually have a support system, but it started out with just me, solely me, and a couple of really good friends of mine. Um, and that's what initiated it. And now I feel like I, I'm so happy that I made that decision, because I would have wasted all this time, all these years, when I could have been putting out stuff that inspires other people to do something similar. And you know what? It is inspiring people. I see other people doing self portraits. I see other people doing similar content, which, it's a little weird, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's kind of flattering.
And I will tell you, anytime, well, in the future, if I get inspired by you or a song, there's actually one song on my playlist that I got from one of your reels. Guess what? I'll give you credit. I got this song from Maheen, or I got this inspired by there's no shade. Let's say you do a photo shoot and maybe there's a pose or a dress or something, and it's like you or someone else. I try to give credit and say, what, I got this from someone else. It's not from me, because there's nothing wrong with saying that I didn't think of this all myself. And some
And
people would say nothing's come from you. It all comes from something else.
and that's the thing, is like we all get inspired by something or someone, and nothing is original anymore. We all know that. Originality died a long time ago.
Well, there
So
is
now,
one thing I'm working on. It might be original. We'll find out.
oh,
There's
I
two
can't
things. There's
wait.
two things that are very original. I don't think anyone's ever done it. But we'll see.
You know what? I think I will be stunned and shocked, because you seem to be very um, innovative, and your evolution of your character is different.
You'll see, Maheen. So that we got one more question, but we're at the end of the interview, so hopefully we can have you back on, or if not, maybe El Man can have you on Man Success Network. There's a whole universe of success that's being created right now. You can see El Man, his wife is back there, Vanessa sitting on a chair back there. There's a whole bunch of things that already been shot and not released, and hundreds of files that we're sitting on. So yeah, so thanks for being on. It came from the radio now. And please give us your final thought and where listeners and viewers can find you, social handles, websites. Throwing back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Feldy, and thanks for having me. My final thoughts are just do you. Don't listen to the distractions, the outside noise. If you have a dream, do it. Do it now. Okay. Don't even like put any negative thoughts in your head. Do it now. Stop what you're doing and do it now. Get
Yeah,
into it. You only have one life to live. YOLO. Okay. And
true.
this is like you want to shape the rest of your life to leave a legacy. So I want to be able to say that I'm going to leave this world knowing that I did this and that, and I fulfilled my dreams, and you
Hmm.
should too. That's how I'm
Oh
going to
yeah.
leave it.
Well, as
And
someone, well, continue. Please continue.
oh, okay. And you can follow me on Instagram at lady_gold_moon. And then I also have at Dream Beauty _lab, and then at Dream Beauty Magazine. I prefer you follow on Instagram, but I am also on TikTok. It's the same handles. Facebook, you just type in the business names and you'll find it. And that's it. Oh, and if you want to email me, it's dreambeautylabstudio@gmail.com.
And now, are you accepting any submissions? I see that you accept photo submissions for Strangeland magazine or for Dream Beauty. Can people
Yes.
submit
Oh,
their
I
own
forgot.
photos?
Yeah, you can also follow me at Strangeland Magazine. Um, And you can visit www.strangelandmagazine.com if you want to submit. For that magazine, it's very, very weird, dark, gothic, even some like erotic undertone. So that's the theme. So try to
Very
stay within
cool.
the theme. Okay.
Right, very cool. We met a long time ago before I was ever an accredited doctor, and I remember you had a cowboy witch goth photo shoot, and I feel like that
That's right.
Strangeland magazine is getting back to your roots, where you really shine that cowboy goth witch feel.
Yeah.
So very cool. We have an artist here. I've actually, online, I don't think there's any trace of any of Maheen's paintings. I've actually been to one of her houses upstate before that house was shut down, and there was must have been 50 paintings there, and she just left them. She's like, "Oh, I'll make new ones." And I said, "What the hell? I wish I brought my own car and I could have taken all the paintings back." There was like a whole room of paintings. She just left them behind, and I actually in one of my rooms, oh no, I had them for years, and then I took photos, and they're in my files. I had to finally get rid of them myself. But no, she's a painter. She's an artist in every way. She makes jewelry, or used to make jewelry. She had a jewelry brand. She had a skincare line that I use. I even have a bottle that was part of a hair care treatment. I still have the bottle. I just refill it with almond oil. Is very great for the hair. So all places art and beauty. There's so much that this woman does, and hopefully we'll have her back on the show. This is just
Thank
we
you.
barely touched on the surface here. A real artist. So you keep taking care of yourself, and we got a guest. Oh, 30 seconds ago, I got to run to my next guest. So thank you so much for being on. It came from the radio, and now back to the studio for with Mark Torres.
Thank you, Dr. Feldy.
Thank you.